Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hi, thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Ashley. I have a 2-year-old daughter. Her name is Elodie, and I am also a military spouse. So today's video, as you've seen in the title, is pregnancy with the IUD. And I am currently 10 weeks pregnant. I got pregnant on the Paragard IUD. So I've had so many questions about what happened, people just want to know. And for me, if I had known somebody that this happened to, well, I had an IUD, I would want to know too, because like, what the? I still don't believe that this is real life, but I'm just gonna sit down and talk to you. I have some notes on my phone so I don't miss anything, but yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, so like I said, my name is Ashley and I am 29 years old. We have a 2-year-old daughter. Her name is Elodie, and it took us a really long time to get pregnant with her. I actually have a video talking all about that, and I'll link it up in the card somewhere. But it took us about 18 months to get pregnant with her. So when choosing a birth control after having my daughter, I wanted one that had 0 hormones in it because I wasn't ovulating and when we were trying to get pregnant with Elodie, and I just feel like if I didn't have hormones, then it wouldn't mess with my ovulation. So the only birth control that you can get that doesn't have hormones is the Paragard. It is a copper IUD. Life of a toddler mom. She doesn't like pillows on the bed. Okay, so the Paragard has copper wrapped around the IUD, which copper is like poison to sperm. I guess like sperm really don't like it. So I'm sorry if you hear Elodie in the background. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I don't have a sitter for her, and she doesn't like to nap anymore. So she is going to join us. So that was the only way that I saw besides just using condoms, which isn't realistic for us if I'm being honest. The only option that I felt was a good fit for me and my husband and our lifestyle is the copper IUD. So I got it placed in, I think, March or early April of 2018. So it was right after I got the go-ahead from my 6-week postpartum postpartum check with my daughter that they were like, all right, like, what do you want to get in? Do you want birth control? Let's make an appointment. So it was right around the end of March, early April 2018. So I have had it in for almost 2 years with absolutely no complications, none whatsoever. My periods actually turned normal. Before I had Elodie, before I got pregnant with Elodie, my periods were all over the place. They were very irregular my whole entire life. The Paragard actually regulated them. Like, I always knew my period would be on time. So when my period was late, it was a little weird, but it was nothing that was alarming because I've had the Paragard in for 2 years with no problems. There's no way I'm pregnant. What? Me and my friend Jenny, our periods are synced pretty much. Hers comes like 3 days before mine, and I never track mine. She'll be like, oh, started my period today, and I'll be like, okay, thanks for the heads up. Mine starts in 3 days. So she had started hers, and we like were hanging out, and I just like mentioned that I didn't get mine, and she's like, girl, you're like 5 days late. You should probably take a test. And I was like, no, I was like, I'm not spending money on a test. I have tons of tests at home. I haven't unpacked them. If I find them, I'll take one. Like, I'm not worried about it. Like, there's no way I'm pregnant. I am on the IUD. There's just no way. So then the next week we hung out, and she's like, girl, did you take a test yet, or did you get your period? And I was like, no and no. And she was like, you need to take a test. So when I came home, I found the test, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait until the morning to take it. So the next morning I woke up and I was like, all right, we ate breakfast, and I had like totally forgot about wanting to take the test. So it's like, all right, let's take it. I will insert the video somewhere up here. I pulled the camera out on a whim. Like, I did not think I was going to be pregnant. And I videotaped myself taking the test so you can see my super surprised response. I didn't even know what to say. After I got that positive test, my first thought was, I'm freaking out. And yeah, freaking out. So backtrack just a couple, like a week. I had an appointment at my OBGYN to get a lump that I found in my breast checked. That appointment was Friday, and I took the test on Tuesday. And part of the reason that I took the test wasn't only because my period was late, was because I was in a Google hole reading what this lump in my breast could be. And one of the things I read said it could be hormonal from pregnancy. So I was like, all right, I guess I should probably take this test. So I immediately called my OBGYN once I got that positive. And the lady that answered the phone was the lady who I had talked to about the lump in my breast. So she kind of already like knew that background of it. So we were both just like, she had never heard of anybody being pregnant on the IUD. So she was like, I don't even know how to instruct you. She's like, I'm going to put you in as an add-on, like on your already appointment to have them remove your IUD, but like stay by your phone. I'm gonna talk to the nurse practitioner and I'm gonna see what they want you to do, because I'm not sure if you should keep it in. Like, I don't know any of that stuff, which I didn't know either, but from what I had read, it was probably going to need out as soon as possible. After all of this shock, I'm just running around like a chicken with my head cut off, like freaking out. The doctor's office called me back and she said that she had talked to 4 doctors, well, 2 nurse practitioners and 2 doctors, and they all told me that I need to go to the emergency room as soon as possible because it could be ectopic, and also it's just not healthy if it's not ectopic to have the IUD in there. So I went to the emergency room and had a really, really horrible experience. So I have the insurance where you can go off base, but I needed to take my daughter to my friend's house who's on the way to base so that I could go to the emergency room. I was like, I'm just gonna go to the emergency room on base because I had my daughter on base and the care there, unspeakable, like so amazing. I had like a dream of a birth experience. So I'm going to have that baby here too. But I didn't know the ER was nothing like labor and delivery. So I sat in the waiting room for 3 hours. And then when I got back, I was in the hospital for a total emergency room for a total of 7.5 hours. So once they took me in the back, I kind of sat there for a while. The nurse came in and asked me what was going on. Then the doctor came in and asked me what was going on. I told them. It was just a lot of waiting, honestly. Then they came in and they gave me a vaginal exam, which I thought that they'd be like, oh, okay, like we see your IUD, it's out of place, or we're gonna take your IUD out, or anything like that. Then they did a bunch of blood work, and since I was there for like 6 hours already, or 5 hours already, I hadn't had anything to eat or drink or anything, so I almost passed out. They had to put the bed on an incline for like 20 minutes because my blood pressure was so low. I was like having all the symptoms. I was like, I'm gonna pass out. And he's like, no, you're okay. And I'm like, I'm gonna pass out. And then the monitor started being like, like she's gonna pass out. I was like sweating. I couldn't see, like my vision went black. And so they had to like incline the thing. So they did that. And then they took me for a vaginal ultrasound. And I thought, oh, cool. I'm gonna get to see if there's something in there and whatever. So the guy was like, go to the bathroom because we need to be able to see if there's like twins in there or something. Ha ha ha. He thought it was so funny. And I'm like, no, I don't want twins. I mean, obviously if it was twins, we'd be happy, but I was just freaked out at the point. Then we went in there and he said nothing the whole time. So I'm like, what's going on? Like something wrong? Nobody's saying anything to me. Like someone gave me a vaginal exam, nothing. Like he is looking on the screen, he's saying nothing. So I get back to the room and the nurse tells me that it's gonna be 30 to 45 minutes and they'll come in with the results for my blood test and the ultrasound. 2 hours later. 2 hours later, they come in and they're discharging me. And and on the papers, it says they're discharging me with a accidental pregnancy. I said, I came in and told you I was pregnant. What are you, like, you were supposed to give me the results to all these tests and you're not saying anything. Like, where's the doctor and why isn't the doctor going over this with me? And he was like, oh, I understand. Like, he's like, they're really busy and blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'll try to get her. And I was like, yeah, because all you're telling me is something I already knew. And then when I asked him if I was pregnant, he literally looked at the paper and was like, I think so. What? So when the nurse came in, when the doctor finally came in, she was like, so I hear you have some questions. And I'm like, I just want to know like what the results were for all these tests that you did. And I was the one that had to like pry everything out of her. So I was like, was my IUD in there, like out of place? She was like, it's like around your cervix. I have no idea what that means, but okay. And I was like, so am I pregnant? And she was like, well, your levels are pretty low, so it either means you're really early or that it's ectopic, but we couldn't see on the ultrasound, so I just made you an appointment for 2 days to go to OB and get them to look at it. I was like, okay, whatever. So for 2 days, I'm kind of just like freaking out, like, I'm not sure if I'm pregnant or not. I didn't know if I should be excited or like sad. I didn't want to get my hopes up just in case, I don't know. That waiting period was really hard for me. Those 2 days felt like 2 years. So finally went to my appointment and Zach got to come to this appointment with me, thank the Lord, and they did a vaginal ultrasound. He could see the sac in the fetal pool, and he took out my IUD, which he said was like hanging halfway out, and it hurt so bad. It literally felt like he was like yanking my insides out, but there was no blood or anything like that, and he did let me know that since he did remove the IUD, an increased chance of having miscarriage because of that, but the risk for keeping it in are even higher for miscarriage than if he was to take it out. So this doctor in OB was amazing, and he went through and he showed me literally like all of my internal like lady part organs. Like, he showed me my fallopian tubes. He showed me that I have PCOS. He was like, see this thing that looks like a strand of pearls? You probably ovulate very irregularly, which I already knew because of Elodie. He's like, so that makes this pregnancy even more rare. He showed me my fallopian tubes. He showed me like where the egg had, which fallopian tube the egg had come from. He was so reassuring, and he let me know that he can't really tell me right now, but it doesn't look like it's in the fallopian tubes, but he wants me to come back the following week just to check. And he felt like everything was good, especially because I wasn't bleeding and because I wasn't in any pain, and that's like the top symptom for having an ectopic pregnancy. So fast forward to a week later, I go back. I have a different doctor, but he is just as nice. And he shows me, and he can only get a fetal pool as well. So I must have been pretty early. They think that I was like, because if they go off of my period, I must have ovulated a week late. So they gave me the due date of October 2nd. And then they wanted me to come back at 9 weeks so that they could like actually measure the baby, because all they were seeing was a fetal pool. So I went for my appointment last week, and we got to see the little baby, and it was so cute. It was in there just kicking and like going like this with its hands. It was the cutest thing. And I never got to get an ultrasound that young with Elodie. I think I was 20 weeks when I got Elodie's first ultrasound. So it was really cool to see like the little baby. So, but it was not ectopic, and the baby is measuring fine. It's actually measuring 5 days ahead. So everything looked good. I was having lots of nausea, which they kept reassuring me was a good thing. With my first child, Elodie, I had lots and lots of nausea. It was very different from this time. I was very sick and I lost a lot of weight my first trimester. This pregnancy is a little different. It hasn't stopped me from like being able to do stuff. I am extremely tired, but I don't know if that's from this pregnancy or just pregnancy combined with chasing a toddler around, which is probably what it is. Obviously, I'm not an expert on any of this. This is my first time going through anything like this. I honestly, because the chances of getting pregnant on an IUD are 1 in 1,000. 1 in 1,000. So this baby's 1 in 1,000. It's actually, I don't know what the statistics would be, but he said it's even more rare since I have PCOS and I had the IUD, that it's even more rare of a pregnancy, which after struggling so long to get pregnant with our first daughter, Elodie, this is such a blessing. We feel so blessed. And even though it wasn't planned, we 100% are so excited and we're already so in love with this little baby, and we can't wait to meet him or her and watch our daughter become a big sister and just grow our little family. And I 100% believe in everything happens for a reason and God's timing is always perfect. So we are excited, and we were in shock for a couple weeks, but now we're just ready to plan and ready to do all the fun baby pregnancy stuff. And yeah, so that's my little story about me getting pregnant on the IUD. If you have any questions or there's anything I missed, just leave them in the comments. And if I get if there's enough things that you guys want to know about that I didn't answer, I can always make a second video. But that's it, guys. And if you have any video suggestions that you'd like to see pregnancy related or anything like that, let me know, because I will definitely be doing those. Now that I'm feeling better, I hope that I can be putting some more content out for you guys, because I've been missing for a while. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new, please make sure you subscribe so that you can follow along our baby journey. All right, guys, see you next time. Bye.